Alrighty, good morning, everybody. I'm on my way into work. I got some stragglers here, but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I know I did tell you guys I was going to give you some strategy stuff, so I guess tip number 2 in this off season here, right around this time, late July, early August, whatever whenever you got going on, start doing mock drafts. That is like a very big key and strategy to winning. You guys, that you don't win, to the footballers' credit, this is their saying, but you don't win the championship at the draft. I believe they say you lay the foundation, and you do. But what I also like is you get a chance to see where players are falling and how that evolves up until the day of your actual draft, and that's very, very key in knowing where players are going to fall. Right now, every mock is going to be a little different, and with your own league of guys, what people are typically doing. Unless you're in like a public league, you really have no idea what's going on. You're just kind of joined like a Yahoo public league or something, which, speaking of platforms, my favorite is Yahoo. I have used I haven't used SleeperBot, but I have used NFL.com one. I've used ESPN's. I've used Flea Flicker. I've used Yahoo since I think 2003 or something like that. So it's just because I'm so comfortable with that. I know everything that it offers, and the new features that they add are just slight, that I kind of know how to do everything in there. That it's just where I'm comfortable. It might not be the best. I personally think it's the best after having used the other platforms. But it's to each your own, whichever one you like. But that being said, what you want to do is you want to incorporate the rankings of whatever platform you're going to be playing on into the app that I use is Draft Wizard. You want to use that in your platform, right? So you want to go in there and tell them, hey, you sign in through Draft Wizards, and you can link up your actual league. So this is a league you use constantly, or if this is a public league, you can link up with those rankings, because that's going to be super imperative, because there's a lot of guys in your league that are just going to go off of whatever player is up in the rankings board. And that's a good draft strategy, because if you've got a player, let's say, ranked at number 50 on your list, but Yahoo has him ranked at number 80, you know that you don't have to reach for that guy at 50, even though you know he's worth 50. You can wait a round or two and grab him in 2 rounds later and get another guy that maybe you have ranked, let's say, at 60, but Yahoo has him ranked at 40, but he won't be there 2 rounds from now, even though that's how he lays in your rankings. So that's a really good strategy, is putting in your mocks early. I try to do one every single day from about this point on, and you jump around. I typically bounce around where my draft position is going to go. Usually, I'll put myself in like position number 1. I'll do a mock. The next day I'll do 2, 3, and all the way to 12, back down to 1 again, and keep going. And then that's like a 12-day cycle that I'll run. I have the added advantage this season that the league that I am in, it's just my work league, and I don't know if I'm going to be in any other leagues. Last year I did 1, 2, 3, 5. Last year I did 6 leagues. It was a little much, especially I had like 2 dynasty leagues, I had a keeper league, and then I had 3 redraft leagues, and I try to commit time to all of them, plus my job, plus my side hustle, and it's just not enough time in the day. That being said, what I would recommend is for me, I got the advantage of this year. They've already done our draft order. They've already pulled it, so I already know what position I'm drafting in. I'm drafting in position number 4. It is a 12-team league. They cut 2 people out this year because 14 was too much. Last year, I guess they decided. So this year we're at 12-team Yahoo full PPR. I prefer half PPR, but I can roll with full. It's majority rules in the league, so that's the draft. That's the change that was made. So we have full PPR, and they finally did go to Fab. which is free agent acquisition budget, much better than waiver priorities. Unfortunately, we still do have kickers and some other BS in the league that just, they changed from 4 points for a touchdown to 6 points for a touchdown, but that's really irrelevant. But the best part about that, though, I will tell you, the best part about having a 6-touchdown league is you're going to get better players, because everybody's going to say, oh, no, 6 points for a touchdown for a quarterback? Ah! It doesn't change the quarterbacks in the least bit. Yeah, maybe, you got your guys like Drew Brees or something, and Aaron Rodgers, and shout out to the Packers. But you got these guys that are going to throw up 30, 40 touchdowns, and that's fine and dandy. But most people are going to throw, around that anyways in the top 10 quarterbacks. So it's not going to be so much of an advantage that you're going to gain the advantage in the running backs and wide receivers that you stack, that you load up on. And that's it. All you do is load up on wide receivers and running backs. That is strategy right there. But I did do my first mock from the 4 position. I think Saquon went number 1, which is probably who I'd take number 1. Zeke went number 2. He would also be my number 2. And my number 3 is Christian McCaffrey. And actually, the person at number 3 in the Draft Wizards app took Alvin Kamara. I do dig Kamara. I think he's freaking electric. I think he's great. But I just like I like McCaffrey just a little bit better. And maybe it's just because he beat my ass last year in the championship game. I would have had the championship, boys. Would have had it. I was in the championship. Yeah, I would have had number 1 again, back-to-back years, but in this league. But freaking McCaffrey, man, crushes it. And I did not have him, but the guy was playing at him. So it's just that's the luck of the draw. I mean, sometimes you got a guy that just blows up, goes off, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna lose that game, and hopefully it's just not the championship game. Hopefully it's games throughout the season, man. You're just gonna. I think last year it's funny because a lot of people get hung up on the post draft. Your post draft rankings, right? Like, what position you're going to be in. Last year, in the Yahoo one, they ranked me at last place. I finished the draft, they ranked me last, and they said that I had, what was it? I was gonna go 0-13. Now everybody, because I'd won the year before, I won the championship. We weren't on Yahoo though, we were on ESPN, which sucks. But in ESPN, I went, 14-2 and won the championship game. The only 2 games I lost were in the season, and I had Devonta Freeman, and he just freaking crapped on me, man. And I've never gone undefeated. I've been so close so many times, and I've never had an undefeated season. I thought that was going to be the season because I was like 8-0. And then it got down to like 2 games, and I lost by such minimal margins to people that were like their record was like garbage. It was just terrible, but everybody was like telling, because they hadn't been changing their teams or doing much of shit. They haven't been participating, but as soon as Jesse goes to play them, they everybody tells them, oh, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, get this guy, start that guy. And then, trying to, and just happened to be luck of the freaking draw, they got me, but almost went undefeated that year. And then last year, gosh, I think I feel like I started off crushing it just straight from the beginning. Like, I feel like I was 6-0. And let's see, I'm trying to remember how it actually all shook out, but I believe I was the number 1 seed all the way through. I'll have to re-look back at my stats and everything. Like last year, I had so many leagues, it's hard to remember. But yeah, I went all the way through, and then the guy I played, I had Melvin Gordon and Pat Mahomes, and I had traded them for Saquon and Stephon Diggs, and I just made some massive moves, man, at the end, because I was worried the Chiefs were gonna, lay off the throttle. I could already see Mahomes, he wasn't doing what Mahomes was doing at the beginning, which is like 5 touchdowns a game, which was freaking awesome. And I was just crushing it. And the funny thing is because nobody wants to trade with me because I'm the conqueror. I destroy everybody in fantasy football. So now the problem that becomes is nobody wants to trade with you. So, like, I'm trying to give away Pat Mahomes, which, if anybody knows Pat Mahomes' season, nobody would give away Pat Mahomes. I am trying to get rid of him for anybody. I mean, it didn't even matter because I had on my bench freaking, I think it was Lamar Miller or some rushing quarterback, which rushing quarterbacks are, almost just as dominant without even having to throw any touchdowns, really. And so I was trying to get rid of so badly Pat Mahomes, and I finally got rid of him. And I had to package him with some people. I didn't feel too good about it, but it actually ended up working out really good, and I did end up going to the championship game once again. And it's those moves right there that just get you into, if you kind of look and see what's going on as the season gets a little closer to the end, you start to think about who's doing what, and what teams are going to be where, and who's going to be playing their lights out and who's not, right? So with that, I ended up, I want to just kind of get on here and let you guys know that you guys, if I was you, I would be jumping on Draft Wizards. I would be doing a mock draft every day. For me, I'm going to be drafting every day from position number 4. And usually, and don't think that you can't win from any position that you draft from. Like I said, draft just builds that foundation. It sets you up to win, but it's not, you don't just set it and forget it. This is not, that other draft, this is not draft, that daily fantasy game. This is legit. You go in there and you're going to be in and out every day, every week, checking all the transactions, checking everything out. But that said, man, last year I drafted from the number 10 position, or 11. I believe I drafted for position number 11 in a 14-team league. I made it to the championship game. Year before that, in the same league that we were in ESPN, I drafted from the number 2 or 3 position. I won the championship game. It just, you never know. And actually, the funny thing was, last year, the top 3 people in the league all drafted in the last 3 positions. So it was number 14, 13, and 12. Oh, then maybe I was 12. Maybe I did draft 12 then last year, because it was us 3, and we kept talking about it because it was so funny because everybody wanted like top 1, 2, 3, 4. And to me, I prefer to have 2 guys if I can. If I'm drafting at the end of the draft, if I like to kind of be in position number 10, kind of see how things are going, and on the way back what the curve is going on. But yeah, I prefer to have 2 of the top 14 guys. Then I would prefer to have 2 of the top, if I'm drafting like number 1 overall, it's 2 of the top 24. Even if that one guy is a freaking stud, and that's nice to have. But I've been burned by the stud so many times. I drafted Adrian Peterson the year he blew his knee out. Also drafted him the year he came back, which worked to my benefit, but he was like the second rounder that year. Then I drafted, which is why I'm kind of trying to push that. I'm trying to go for Gurley because of the way that Adrian Peterson hooked me up so bad that year. He came back and ran for 2,000 yards after his knee injury. So I'm really hoping I can get maybe now position 4. Maybe I can get Gurley on the way back. But I'm pretty sure just because of his name, I'm never going to get him in round 2, even though I've seen him going in mocks that late. That being said, what I don't like, is being in that position, that number 4 position, or even one of the top 5 positions, just because, I had David Johnson and he messed up his wrist that year, and it's just like you now are literally sitting there with basically your team is starting off, with 20 some odd people in front of you that were way better on everybody else's team spread out, and that sucks, because you can't predict injury. That is one of those things you just can't predict, and that hurts bad when you get a guy that gets injured. But you evolve, you fix it, you figure it out. That same year, I still won the championship with losing David Johnson. Actually, I believe that year I lost my first 3 round picks, and I still won the championship, because it's all about that kind of stuff makes you crank, as if you lost your number 1 pick. That's how you got to think every week, man. If you go in every single week like you lost your number 1 pick and he doesn't exist, and you go with that attitude. Oh shit, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure it out, man. How am I gonna do? What am I gonna listen to? Who do I think is gonna break out? What do I think is gonna happen? You go into that mindset, that questioning mindset. Deadly, because you'll still have your number one pick on you, on your team. And if you do end up losing him, you got your team prepared for it. If not, you're just that much more dominant, man. And it becomes super easy, and you'll end up dealing with the fact that people won't want to trade with you. People won't want to, really have you in their leagues because you just destroy, and they want a chance to win. There are people that like the competitive nature of being in, you being in their league, because they think they can take you down. And anybody that beats you on a week-to-week basis, sorry, they're gonna rub it in your face, because you're gonna be sitting there mocking them all year. And that's another strategy. You're just gonna freaking mock the hell out of people. You get in their heads. Sorry, I got allergies. You're just gonna get in their heads. You're just gonna mess with them. You're just gonna mess with their heads. So, and it's gonna drive them nuts. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna sign off. This video is a lot longer than I expected it to be. I was hoping about 8 minutes or so, or less. Just give you guys some things. I would just get on that Draft Wizard app, and it's really super easy and fast to draft with. Gee whiz. This is ridiculous. All right, I'm signing off, guys. If you like, follow, subscribe, I appreciate it. I'd like to get to 1,000 if I could, because then I can go live on YouTube, and that's where I really like to. I just like to go live. It's so much easier than saving it to my phone and having to redo it. So if you guys could tackle those like buttons for me, hit, play with that, tackle that subscribe button and everything, and help me out there with just 1,000. I don't need anything after that. That's all. But going live is much easier than downloading these videos to my phone and running out of memory every day and uploading them back up. So I appreciate it, y'all. And I will touch base with y'all probably tomorrow on some more strategies and everything as the season starts getting closer. We're getting crank time. It is what is it, July? Shoot, the 14th. Crap, where's my phone calendar? Oh, July 18th. It's July 18th, guys. So we're like a month and a half away. This is ready. It's getting ready time. It's go time. It's when you start really getting in your mocks, looking at the rankings, studying up on players, studying up on positions, studying up on potential breakout sleepers. Everything matters at this point, when you're trying to build that draft, because you want to know every player, because you never know what's going to happen in the draft, and you want to have all of these scenarios worked out in your head. So start drafting right now. That's your strategy. Like I said, yesterday's strategy, keep listening to the fantasy footballers, jumping on other podcasts if you can. I think John Paulson does like something on like 4for4.com. He does like a little podcast too. Any kind of knowledge you can start scraping up and just listening to while you're working out or at work or whatever opportunity you have in the car. It doesn't take much time. It's kind of, most of the time they're comical, and you're gonna learn a lot of information, a lot of cool players, and it's gonna be really beneficial for you when the season starts up. So that being said, guys, I am gonna sign off. Don't forget to tackle those buttons below. I appreciate it, and I will talk to y'all later.